I want to talk about this Kentucky-North Carolina game on Tuesday. We already discussed it a little bit, but the Wildcats need, they need this game in a pretty bad way. And most analytics will tell you Kentucky will win this game. They are an 80% favorite against Hubert Davis and the Tar Heels, who are 6-1. They are coming off of a disappointing loss to Michigan State. Spartans, a lot better maybe than we thought they would be. A lot grittier. I think that's a fun team. Hubert Davis, hired back in 2022. He has had 4 straight 20-plus win seasons, the worst being a 2013 campaign in 2023. 29 win seasons in 2022 and 2024. Last season, barely made the NCAA tournament as an 11 seed, should not have. And this year, a little bit better. So far, 6-1. I think that you really like what they're bringing on the glass and in terms of what they're bringing in the front court. And the most notable player here that we need to start off talking about to begin this preview is Caleb Wilson. Wilson, obviously a guy that Kentucky wanted pretty badly in the recruiting, this past recruiting cycle, came down to him, or the Wildcats and the Tar Heels, makes its decision on live television. We had to wait forever to actually hear him make a decision. He ends up committing to UNC. Wildcats miss out, whiff on what is currently, according to KenPom, the 4th best player in America. Shooting over 62% from the floor. He has made a couple of threes, but that's not his strong suit. Incredibly efficient in the mid-range. He's drawing fouls. He's shooting well at the free throw line. He's really good at rebounding the basketball. He's not turning the ball over a ton. He has a very solid assist rate for his position at 6'10", 215. He is an athletic freak of nature. I might have mentioned it on the show about how Kentucky might stop him. To be honest with you, I don't think you can. Players like this that are this athletic, this rangy, this flexible on the offensive end are just really, really hard to stop, especially in college. I think Kentucky, the best thing that they can do is overload the paint or double him whenever he's trying to drive and just make him take a shot outside of the paint. Again, he's been really efficient in that area, but you have that would be my way of attacking him, is try and push him away from the paint as much as possible and make him take a jump shot. Because, if you're just looking at it from just a basic stat standpoint, mid-range jump shot, statistically more difficult to hit than one directly at the rim. This kid is ferocious. Again, just dunking the basketball, driving into the lane, scoring at will at different times, just flipping stuff up and making it happen. I don't necessarily know if you can stop him, but I think there's a way that you can kind of prevent him from having a super efficient night. This is the tallest team in America right now, according to KenPom. They have so many different lengthy players that they rotate in. Jaron Stevenson is their small forward at 6'10". Caleb Wilson, also 6'10". Zayden High, 6'10", 230. Henry Vesar, I'm not quite sure how you pronounce it. I actually looked it up before this started, and I've already forgotten how to say it. James Brown, 6'10", 240. A lot of guys in this rotation that are super tall. You've also got Jonathan Powell, who's 6'6", Derek Dixon, who's 6'5", Kyan Evans, who is 6'2", 175, is the smallest player on the floor, but he's one of the most impactful. This is a very tall, another physical North Carolina team. And I want to talk about something that's interesting here, because this team also does kind of confuse me. With all of their height, with all of their athleticism, they're not as good on either end of the floor as I would have expected them to be. Don't get me wrong, they've still been good. They've still got a top 50 offense and defense, according to KenPom. But they're not as quite impactful or powerful, I guess I should say, as maybe they should be. They only beat Navy by 12. They beat St. Bonaventure by 15 in a weird game. Again, they lost to Michigan State. They got that big win over Kansas after a ferocious second half. But their last 3 games, they're coming in this game just kind of playing awkwardly. They're not hitting shots. They're a bad 3-point shooting team. I mean, the thing that they do really well is they get to the charity stripe and they do hit well at the rim, but like they're not like the most efficient team right now, which is just bizarre. I feel like you would try and be more aggressive getting to the rim, but if you go watch that Michigan State game, I think kind of what kept them out of it was their desire to just kind of take rushed 3-point jump shots on the wing. It was a very, very weird game that they played against Michigan State. And here's something else that might confuse you. North Carolina, at the time of me, they still are the number 2 team in the country when it comes to 2-point field goal defense. Second best team in the nation defending inside the arc. However, despite that, Michigan State still shot 52% inside the arc. Kansas shot 42.4%. You may say, Lance, that's bad. But let me tell you what Kansas did that Kentucky didn't do. Kansas took 22 mid-range shots. 22. They made 7 of them. And 2 players combined to go 1 for 8. It's not the shot selection you're going to find here with Kentucky. They're going to be at the rim. They're going to be beyond the arc. Unless it's Otega Oweh. And this is the game where you might have to beg Oweh to actually be the guy. Be the preseason SEC Player of the Year. Make him be the star again. Because I think he can match North Carolina's physicality. I think as a slasher, he can find some grooves in this game. Kentucky has to be able to space the floor effectively and make North Carolina respect the outside shot in order for Oweh to be as impactful as he was a season ago. So yes, there's a lot on Oweh's shoulders in this game. But also at the same time, I think the offense has to be lethal at all three in all 3 areas, both from beyond the arc, in the high paint area where Oweh is going to probably take at least 1 or 2 shots, and then at the rim. In order for Oweh to be the star in this game, he's got to be able to get some spacing around him. I actually think Colin Chandler might have talked about that recently, about how he needs Oweh and Oweh needs him because of the outside shooting and the passing and the playmaking that both those guys can provide each other if they are firing on all cylinders on the offensive end. Can Kentucky produce at the rim? That is the question. With the way that North Carolina has defended some bad teams, can Kentucky produce at the rim? One of the best 2-point offenses in the country, the Wildcats do have right now. Can they prevent North Carolina from getting open looks from 3 while also slowing down Caleb Wilson? Because if I remember correctly, a lot of shot chucking, again, from UNC against Michigan State. They also kind of kept sealing Wilson off from the paint a little bit. Maybe, again, something that Kentucky tries to do. I want to talk a little bit more about the matchups in this game, about how North Carolina may play defense, because they played Michigan State in a very unique way, and you may see some things here as well from the Tar Heels against Kentucky. What does Kentucky do against drop coverage? Do you see it at all? What does transition look like? Who's the MVP? Oweh. Who else is impactful in this game? We'll get into all that here in just a little bit. Before we do it, though, tell you guys about our friends over at FanDuel. College basketball is back, and there's no better place to get in on the action than with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you missed the start of the game, you want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on literally everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. It keeps every game more exciting, especially whenever your team's making that late push. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when their first $5 bet wins. All you got to do is head to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of college basketball and the NBA. All right, wrapping up today's episode of Locked On Kentucky. Lance Dawe hanging out here with you. I wish this chair would not squeak as much as it does. Nevertheless, here we are. Kentucky versus North Carolina. Wildcats in desperate need of a win. By the way, if I sound bad, I apologize, guys. I'm pretty sure I'm sick, but I don't really care because we've got a huge game on Tuesday, and obviously we might get a coach fired here in the next 48 hours. That is more exciting to me than anything. We've talked about how North Carolina can be so impactful at the rim with Caleb Wilson. They have elected not to do so a ton. They have settled, I think, on the offensive end for a lot of different jump shots that they should not be taking. This is not a good shooting team. This is a very tall team, kind of similar to Florida, I guess. Except I would argue that North Carolina's guards have the ability to be a little bit more efficient. Seth Trimble is not a good 3-point shooter, and he has not made a three yet so far this season, which is just kind of, or excuse me, he had not made a three yet to start the season, and he is out for at least a few more weeks. He's not going to play in this game. Let's see, Kyan Evans is only shooting 32.4% from deep. Derek Dixon is shooting, is shooting 8 of 16, but he's not getting any sort of volume. He's not playing a ton of minutes. But you're seeing a lot of different just shot chucking, especially in that Michigan State game. And what they did defensively in that game is so interesting to me because they played some sort of, if I'm not mistaken, they played some sort of matchup zone at a lot of different points. And I think just straight up zone at a couple different points. You saw a lot of 1-2-1, it looked like, from both teams in this game. And I couldn't tell if it was just me being an idiot and not being able to realize coverages, or it was literally them playing a 1-2-1 because you wouldn't see the guy in the middle step up to the perimeter. He would just drop. And speaking of drop coverage, Kentucky, if they see it, I think can absolutely destroy it. Jasper Johnson, I think, is also going to be really important in this game for a couple of reasons. Number one, he has been really, really good in pick and roll situations. Really good. He's finished at the rim. If I'm not mistaken, not insanely effectively. I can pull this up here real quick. Jasper is shooting, 52.9% inside the arc. But he has been really, really good with Marino whenever he wants to roll, getting and putting the ball exactly where it needs to be at the in terms of when it comes to like lobbing the ball up. And then again, Jasper is finishing pretty well. If North Carolina wants to drop off of a shooter in this game from the top of the key, it's going to hurt them, because I do think Kentucky can really attack that high mid-range, high paint area with Oweh as well. But Oweh's got to be a better ball handler in this game. I think you can expose it. You can put them in the situations. But can you execute, I guess, is the question. Jasper, I think, is going to be really important in this game in terms of his decision-making, his shot selection, especially if North Carolina wants to back off these guys a little bit in the high paint area. You can also just design plays to get you a third guy on the perimeter that you can pass back out to create an open shot if North Carolina does want to drop a little bit deeper into the paint. Michigan State also was really impactful in transition, and we talked about this in the preview episode against Michigan State. While they are one of the slower teams in the nation, whenever they get an opportunity to get out and run, they capitalize really, really well. And North Carolina wasn't getting back. Caleb Wilson was not getting back. Visar was not getting back. They were players that were slow to get back in transition, and Michigan State was exposing it. Oweh has to be really solid in transition in this game. Better decision making than we saw against Louisville. Better decision making than we saw against Michigan State from this entire team. Oweh, I think, is the MVP of this game. The more or MIP, I guess I should say, most important player here, because of what he can do on the offensive end. Because of the fact that I really do think that his physicality can give North Carolina some problems. Powell, Stevenson, Bogovac, I believe is how you pronounce his name, Luka Bogovac, who is he is the freshman, and then Visar is a transfer from Arizona, just in case you guys are wondering. Kyan Evans is the point guard from Colorado State, really good player at Colorado State. Oweh has to be impactful on both ends. You look at the way that Michigan State played offensively in this game, or last game against the Tar Heels. Jeremy Fears was just incredible. Absolutely incredible. He's been averaging over 10 assists a game. And Kentucky doesn't have Fears on the roster in terms of guard play. But I think it can be made up in the aggregate of the fact that you have 3 or 4 different guards. Lowe, I don't think is going to play in this game because nobody said anything about it. You have enough passing in the aggregate to make up what Fears brings in terms of pressure, because Kentucky as a system, I think, provides that to you. And the guy that has the ball is just simply, again, the distributor. It's not just one guy. The other reason, by the way, Jasper is going to be impactful in this game is because North Carolina doesn't really attack the ball. They are a low turnover team, 15.2%, which is almost exactly what Kentucky is, 15.4%. So not over aggressive here. And the final thing I want to talk about, which is why I think Kentucky's going to win the game. Again, North Carolina, 3 games in a row that they have just played flat. Excuse me. They have just straight up played flat against Navy, against St. Bonaventure. And then against Michigan State, for the final 6.5 minutes, they only scored like 3 times. They had like 6 points or something like that. And here's how it happened. So with about 6.5 minutes left, Michigan State made an and 1 3. And after that, it was like desperation mode. There was a hero ball missed 3 on the wing where there was just some dribbling and a shot that went up for no reason. Then it was Caleb Wilson hitting a shot in the paint that honestly most players don't. He's just making some stuff up. And he did the same thing again on the next possession, which prompted me to go look at how many assists that North Carolina had. They had 9 against Michigan State, just completely took them out of the game. Passing the ball. Then they missed an open 3 off of some zoom action. Then there was a foul, and they missed a free throw. There was another off-balance 3. Then Wilson fouled. He hit free throws. Then Wilson badly missed a 3 at the end of the game. What do you notice there? Caleb can do some things in the paint, but there was 1, 2, 3, 4 different just chucked up bad shots, really bad shots there. 4 empty possessions on shots that they are not hitting at a high percentage. If they want to beat Kentucky, they're going to have to attack the rim. If Kentucky gets up in this game, especially late, I don't see North Carolina having the fortitude to come back, barring them just hitting wild shots that they have not hit all season long, which could happen. After having a really bad shooting performance against Michigan State, they could turn around and come into Rupp and shoot 45%. That's just how basketball works sometimes, right? I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think that they have enough on the offensive end outside of Wilson to get this going. Yes, I really do like Visart. Both him, Henry, and Caleb are really, really good. Their front court's super good. I think Marino, Garrison, they're going to be able to provide enough. I think Yelovich is going to have to be impactful in this game a little bit as well, especially against somebody like Wilson. Can he stay in front of him? Probably not, but we'll see. I think Kentucky ends up winning this game. Not going to put a score on it, but I feel comfortable saying that at home in this environment, knowing what North Carolina is doing coming into this game, I feel like a lot of stuff leans toward the Wildcats picking up their first big win of the season. We'll see, but I'm excited about it. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Does Kentucky win? Do they lose? I think they're going to win. And I think that hopefully you can get some good news here over the next week or so. You got Gonzaga on Friday. You're getting into the thick of non-con play, man. It's really, really tough.